The ladies, thank you for love and support. I appreciate you all. Sorry about my voice, I'm not feeling well. My VIP subscribers, I say thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Those who are liking, sharing, commenting, I appreciate you. My new, old, and returning subscribers, I say thank you so much for the love you are showing to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to become a member. Africans are living in a dream that is created by other people. So for that matter, today we believe that there is nothing we can do. And sometimes when we ask ourselves why we love these people so much, we are told that they are inventors. They bring a lot of things into existence. There is nothing we can do. So for that matter, we always need them to come in contact with us so that they can help us to get to our destination. Because everything that we see in our homes are made by these people. So why is it that Africans, we need to move away as others are claiming we are preaching? But the truth is, there are a lot of things that Africans, blacks, are the ones who invented them. And we are using, and we are not aware that these things are invented by black people. 3D, the video gaming, these video calls we are making, and a lot of things are invented by black people. But today, the world is silent about them. We are not told that these things are made by black people, because the more we get to know our ability, then we will start to lose trust in them. So in order for them to continue to have us under their control, they always try to project themselves, take control over things that we have done. And that is why they are always going after African brilliant people who are inventing things, so that at the end of the day, when they finish taking them to where they are, everything that they do, they put their names on them to make it look as if that this thing that was done is done by yellow people.
People know Washington, D.C. as the capital of the United States. But what they don't know is that the city was partly designed by a black man, a self-taught genius, named Benjamin Banneker. Born in 1731 to a free black woman and an enslaved black man, Banneker had almost no formal education. By teaching himself astronomy, mathematics, and engineering, he changed American history. In 1791, President George Washington decided to build a new federal city. Banneker helped survey and map the land. He worked with Major Andrew Ellicott on the layout of Washington, D.C. But then, disaster struck. Pierre Charles L'Enfant, the main city planner, quit and took the only plans with him. Everyone panicked. The entire project was at risk. But Banneker had memorized the entire layout. From memory alone, he reproduced the city plans down to the streets, avenues, and key landmarks. Thanks to Banneker, the vision for Washington, D.C. was saved. A self-taught black man helped build the capital of a nation that denied him rights, but not his legacy. This is black history you won't find in your school books.
Did you know that Charles Frederick Page, a black inventor, patented an airship in 1906, 3 years after the Wright brothers' first flight? Born into slavery, Page taught himself to read and write, rising above the racial barriers of his time. His airship design, which used buoyancy as its primary mechanism for flight, was groundbreaking, and represented a different approach to flight from the Wright brothers' fixed-wing aircraft. Tragically, Page's airship model disappeared under mysterious circumstances, likely sabotaged or destroyed, erasing his significant contribution to aviation history. His story is an unfortunate example of how black innovators were systematically ignored or silenced due to racial prejudice. Recently, efforts have been made to honor Page's legacy, with a historical landmark in Pineville acknowledging his contributions. It's time we remember Charles Frederick Page as a true pioneer. Next time someone mentions the Wright brothers, speak up and say Charles Frederick Page's name. This is our history, and it's time to elevate the stories of black pioneers. Follow for more untold stories, because this journey is just beginning.
They want you to believe America's biggest shoe story is Nike. But the real one started with a black man they buried. His name was Matzeliger. In the 1880s, shoes were luxury items. Most poor families couldn't afford a single pair. But Jan was different. He built machines with his bare hands. Here's the part they don't teach. He invented the shoe-lasting machine, the device that made shoes cheap enough for everyone. United Shoe Company grabbed his patent and made millions. But Jan? He never saw the wealth. He died young, poor, and forgotten. Think about that. Every shoe industry giant, from Nike to Adidas, stands on a foundation built by a black inventor whose name got erased. Jan's brilliance made billions for others, yet his legacy never made it into your school books. They celebrated the brands, not the man who made them possible. Why do we remember corporations, but not the black genius who started it all? And how many other inventions changed the world without giving us credit? Comment. Jan. If you believe his name should be said louder than Nike. Follow for more untaught black truths.
Alright, racists, let's talk about the part of history you like to tout the most. Black inventions. And along with those inventions comes the receipts. Racist America has pretended for far too long that black people haven't created or invented most things, if not every single thing we use daily. They like to pretend that the toolbox of life just appeared out of nowhere, or that it was gifted by some default white guy. Then they act shocked every single time a black indigenous American shows up in the patent record. This pattern in history of gaslighting and erasure ends now. So why don't we break the spell with a hit list of under-referenced black American inventors, whose work you touch, hear, and rely on every single day, whether you say their names or not. This is what I call the not-so-familiar list. James E. West co-invented the electric microphone in 1962. That tiny capsule in smartphones, laptops, hearing aids, and almost every modern mic, brought to you by a black man, James West. George Edward Alcorn Jr. built the imaging X-ray spectrometer in 1984 that sharpened space and materials research. NASA named him Inventor of the Year. Translation, he built the instruments that actually see what the naked eye can't. Black brilliance. Meredith Gourdine pioneered electro-gas dynamics, devices like incinerate cut smoke and industrial pollution. He engineered the actual physics. David N. Crosswaite Jr., architect of modern HVAC controls for big buildings. He has 39 U.S. patents, some of which include heating systems for Radio City Music Hall as well as Rockefeller Center. So when you visit these places, your climate comfort is running on David's math. Walter Lincoln Hawkins created durable polymer cable sheathing so telephone lines could survive the sun and harsh weather. Otis Boykin designed precision resistors that stabilized consumer electronics and pacemaker controls. George Carruthers invented the far ultraviolet camera / spectrograph used on Apollo 16 to image Earth's atmosphere and interstellar space. When science looked farther, it used George's instrument. Jerry Lawson led the team behind the interchangeable video game cartridge, the truest pioneer to console gaming. Jesse Russell was the key architect of digital cellular systems and base station tech. He laid the groundwork for the networks that your phone lives on. Marion Croak is the holder of 200-plus patents in voice over IP and internet call tech. So as far as internet calling as a service, she operationalized the pipeline. Valerie Thomas, the pioneer behind the Illusion Transmitter 3D image tech at NASA. Bessie Blount Griffin, inventor of the self-feeding device used for amputees and a disposable emesis basin. It's a clinical design that restored autonomy to its users in this country. Then it spread internationally. Alice H. Parker created the 1919 patent for a gas-fired centrally zoned heating furnace. She also planted the seed ideas for modern home heating segmentation. Miriam E. Benjamin, in 1888, created the gong and signal chair, a call button system predating hotel service alerts. The start of push to summon was formulated by her genius. Andrew J. Beard invented the Jenny coupler in 1897, which is an automated, dangerous link and pin rail coupling. His work improved freight efficiency and worker safety. Philip B. Downing created the street letterbox in 1891 with a weather shielding door for mail drop-off. Yes, a black man created the mailbox. John Stannard. In 1891, he invented the non-electric refrigerator and compact oil stove, the pioneer of non-electric appliances. Richard B. Spikes. He iterated the automatic gear shift and most automotive safety systems. Lloyd Hall. He advanced food preservation, using safer curing salts, using spice sterilization, and antioxidants. He created the industry-level shelf life. So what was the point to all of this? Reality reads like this list. Black Americans were already here, already building, and already creating everything. Designing the microphones inside your phone, the networks under your texts, the heat in your building, the optics in your space science, the cartridges that built an entire gaming industry, the clinical tools that dignify autonomous care, and the dull metal boxes swallowing your mail on the corner. Erasing the creativity and the genius of the original people isn't accidental. It's an act of violence. You can keep pretending you invented everything, sure. Or you can look around, call things what they are, and stop living on lies. Pretending to be superior in technology and a spiritual power you can't even use. The entire world can see the limitations of racists. The big question is, however, why can't you?
Did you know that a black man was actually the first to create the very first car company? You've been told Henry Ford changed America, but they never told you a black man beat him to it. Follow if you believe history should belong to the truth, not the powerful. Charles Richard Patterson was born enslaved in 1833. He didn't just survive, he built. First, he opened a carriage shop in Ohio, crafting vehicles so well made that people traveled from counties away. By 1915, when automobiles were the new future, Patterson and his son didn't just sit back. They transitioned from carriages to cars, creating C.R. Patterson and Sons, the first black-owned car company in U.S. history. They were innovators, engineers, businessmen, without the support of wealth, banks, or privilege. Meanwhile, Ford received funding, factories, road access, and headlines, but Patterson was blocked at every turn. White-owned banks refused him loans. Supply networks shut him out. Newspapers never printed his name. America didn't just ignore Patterson, it erased him. And when his company couldn't grow, they called it failure instead of sabotage. The truth is, a black man helped drive America forward before Ford ever became Ford, and they buried that because it threatened the myth about who gets to invent the future. So let me ask you, if a man can build an entire automobile company and still be erased, how many stories are we still living in the dark?
There's nothing that you, the black person, cannot do. There are a lot of things that we have done, and these people are taking credit for. So we have to believe in ourselves and know that Africa and the black person is the one that controls everything. A lot of things, technology and other things, we invented them. I've shown you video proofs of how we started. The mathematics, the science, and everything we are studying are blacks who brought these things out. So we need to know who we are before we can get to our destination. That time of us living in the shadow of other people, believing that there's nothing we can do, should be a thing of the past. Today, all the talents that we have died as a result of the educational system they have given to us, because this education is only making us to memorize the things of other people and not to bring out the talents that we have in us. And that is why we are fighting for a better Africa. And before we can get that better Africa, we need to fight for all these colonial leaders to move out so we can have African leaders that will come and restructure everything, because the system that the oppressor gave to us is a system that is fighting against the African. That is what is making us not be able to be productive, and we are only consuming what other people have done. Is it in engineering? Mention the fraud. The Africans are not surviving and are not doing better than these people. So our brothers and sisters, we need to start educating our children back home and reconscientizing our mentality. That is the most important thing, because today, the mental slavery is what is killing the African. The chains are taken out of the physical body and kept in the brain. And this is where it is dangerous. If we are not able to set ourselves free mentally, it will be very difficult for us to fight and win. The materials and even the know-how is from the African. We are the inventors. We always beat them in every aspect. And for them to be able to win, they always have to manipulate and change the narrative to control us mentally. So because we are mentally weak, that is why they are always ahead of us in everything. So we need, as Africans, to emancipate ourselves, because a lot of us are still living in mental slavery, which we are not aware, because we believe that we are free and we celebrate Independence Day at the end of every year. The black person is everything. It is time for you and I to rise up and fight against that system that is fighting us. Until then, they will continue to be winning. Our unity is what will defeat these people. The time for us to stop believing less in ourselves is now. The African is capable of managing his own affairs, and that is why they are always rising against us, pretending that they are there to help us, yet their people are suffering. Their people are in hardship and they are not helping them. Why would they leave their people to come and help you if not because of your resources, if not because of what they are making you, the African, to be? Who is like us? There is none. Black is beautiful and we are capable of everything. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.